Welcome to Nature vs. Nurture, an inSIGHT podcast.
He's rattled.
This podcast is about the who, what, when, where, and why of nutrition.
There are really extremists like that posting online.
Humans are a complex organism, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of it.
Honestly, guys, this is the first time I've ever really talked about it in a public forum.
Yeah, let's get into it. Like, should it be the responsibility of employees to be healthy, or should the businesses carry more ownership? And what they've been doing thus far, is it working? Honestly, what really pisses me off, and I'm gonna lay it out right here. What pisses me off is that we have to pay out of our own goddamn pockets to stay out of the hospitals and to be better employees. And the hospitals, the government. So if we're healthier, we're less of a draw on healthcare. So we save the government money. If we are healthier, we're better employees. We're less stressed in the workplace. We have a longer battery life. We're more productive. We're less costly to employers. So I just don't understand why we've got I don't understand why we have to pay out of our pockets. It's like paying insane insurance rates to be a good driver, and then the minute you fuck up, the minute you're in an accident, your whole ride is covered. We're rewarding people for bad behavior. This is why, we've talked about it, us, the inSIGHT team, how absurd it is, even at our price point, how people are, they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay because they've been told this bullshit that health is, it's free. So when you're injured and you get coverage, 80%, blah, 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 and you're, everything, it doesn't come out of your pocket. Healthcare is free. Healthcare is not free. It's paying people. It's draining our economy. And, I've got a website up here that's got some statistics on it, and it's from the New Brunswick Health Department's Canadian Health Services. And 77% of New Brunswickers reported being diagnosed with one or more chronic disease. Right? So, I mean, there's a big reason why and I'm gonna focus on New Brunswick, why New Brunswick is having a very difficult time establishing new businesses, getting new businesses to come here, people to invest in New Brunswick, is because we are very unhealthy. And myself, as being a business owner, when I hire someone, the thought crosses my mind, how long is this person going to be productive? What's the shelf life of this person? And knowing that people now, life expectancy is on the decline, and 77% of people are dealing with 2 or more chronic illnesses, I'm keeping a very watchful eye out for that. So if I can go and take my business to another country that has less of those things, then as a business person, you hate to think about it, but yes, that's something that I have to think about. Am I going to be paying 2 employees to do one employee's job because one's on long-term disability, and then I got to bring someone in, train them, or 2 other people within the work environment have to take over that one person's job? So you've just upped their workload and stress load. So all of a sudden the potentiality of them burning out goes higher. And this is the cascading effect. Right?
Yeah, I find as running a business or being a part, I've had a number of friends who run businesses, and the most expensive part of your business is your people.
Yeah.
Right. Not only paying salaries, but everything, people, when they make a mistake or when things go awry, people are the most expensive part of your business, which if you're working in retail, or if you're working, regardless of your business, you're working with people. So yeah. I find that having the healthiest people is going to give you the best results, right? It just makes sense to keep your people, like you were saying, to only have, or to have one person capable. I've seen that in a number of businesses, which just drives me nuts. Having one person capable of doing this certain job, and then what happens if they get sick or they go on parental leave or something, then they're gone. And like you say, you get 2 people or 3 people to cover for them. And then it's just, like you said, a cascading effect that results in a screwed over company, or companies that could potentially go under because it just keeps snowballing. And then what do you do?
Yeah. And if it was just the fact that they would educate the employees, because we always assume people know how to eat well and how to stay healthy and all that. But the truth is that a lot of people, they don't know, or they don't realize that they're not doing it right.
No, and again, like when you're overworked and when you've got all of those things going on, it's again, like imagine someone who's working, full-time hours, and we're talking full-time hours, so not 40 hours a week. We're talking like 45 to 50 plus hours a week. Like, they may be getting paid for 40 on salary, but the majority of people out there that are, invested in their job and take pride in what they do, they're going to put in more hours than that. So what we're telling people is, okay, now you need to find on your time, now the time that you're trying desperately to be able to find time for your family and your children and your hobbies and everything else. Now you need to find time and find a nutritionist or dietitian or, a personal trainer or something of that sort. You need to pay out of your pocket to go do this. Right. And then, but if not, then you're going to, your career, your job your life is going to wear you down. And I just, to me, it blows my mind. Like, why can't they have more health within the workplace? The average adult spends 61% of their adult life at work. Mm-hmm. So imagine if there was a platform where people could learn about nutrition at work without leaving their workstation, be able to take this stuff home, because there is no differentiating between work and home like bullshit. It just doesn't work. If I have a shitty day at home, I go to work, I'm going to have a shitty day at work. I'm going to treat others shitty.
Here's
right?
the thing, Noel.
So what?
Well, here's the thing, Noel. Or no. Hey, Noel. Hey, Noel. Neil, it's
What's up?
People sometimes don't take initiative. Sorry, a lot of the times people don't take initiative. So if I'm unhealthy and I'm sick and I know that I need to get better, but I'm not going to do that. But if my job or my corporation that I work for says, hey, we've got this program here, no cost to you at all. We've covered the whole cost. This is going to get you better, healthier, lose weight, whatever your goals are. Bing, bang, boom.
Be a better team member. Yep.
And you don't have to pay a cent in your pocket, because people are cheap. Let's just be honest, man. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I go to the store, I'm like, ooh, that's, but if here's something that's going to make me better, that's my company's paying for.
Yeah. Right.
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
And my company wins. My company wins, but like I also win because I'm a better person.
Yep.
But it removes that whole like, oh, I gotta pay for a gym membership, and I gotta, I gotta buy some healthy grocery. People they complain about everything.
Yeah.
Honest, right? Like, so it removes that whole thing. And there's companies out there to do that. They've got these wellness programs and all these things that
there's money allocated for this stuff,
right?
But it's misappropriation of money. They're throwing the shit away on useless stuff that it cycles around. Like with my job, like I get people come in and they're like they get health coverage, so they're like, oh, I've got 2 weeks left, I've got $500 to spend, I want to come here. I'm like, okay, well that shows a lot of dedication and discipline. You're gonna shit the bed because like they're just scrambling, because if they don't spend it, they don't get it.
Right.
Whereas if we could go in and really, instead of for weeks, like look at infiltrating the workspace, work as team builders, work with individuals, like health is something, guys, that is it's a common denominator amongst all classes. It can tie a workspace together. Everybody's concerned about their health. Everybody, from the CEO to the janitor. So it's a great unification tool. So it's great for team building, but imagine having where we're in their space. We're able to do what we're doing right here. People can be online. They don't have to get up and go to a conference room. They don't have to get up, lose their parking space, and go to an appointment. They can learn the majority of it here. And then the gym, physical fitness, stuff like that. Those are things that they decide to do on their own as well, because they feel healthier. So sorry, Joel, I cut you off.
The thing about that, Neil,
Joel Stern.
No way.
Lost my train of thought. That's all right.
Well, no.
Sorry.
The best thing is though, is I've actually worked at places that they offered like a discounted gym membership, but that wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Like, so like if my work came to me, or if my work had some sort of like allocation for, okay, what is it you're looking for? Are you looking to to not be healthy, to lose weight? And like they incorporated that, right? And then they went to someone like us, right? That was like, okay, these people are looking to not be tired all the time and blah 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 blah. And then we give them like a meal plan or something, or an exercise plan. It's like, holy shit, like I've just saved X amount of 6 days from this person, and then X amount of 6 days from this person, and X amount of 6 days from this person. Add that up. That is a huge amount of productivity that the company's just saved.
Absolutely,
right?
Greg. And
Yeah.
for oh, go ahead, Joel.
I was just gonna say, and some companies they won't want to spend the money on these things, but they would have no problem paying a big ass pizza party, and everybody's in the carb coma for the afternoon. Productivity goes like this, and you know what happens, right? So it's just a mentality. You can't just and it can't be just a conference, a one-day conference on health and wellness.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Right? It can't be. They need to push this stuff. They need to, like I said, educate people, because some of them, they don't even know they need it. They think they're all right, but they don't even know they need it. So they need to be on top of that, right?
Yeah. And the people that are making the decisions and allocating the funds, they don't know. They're not health professionals. You know what I mean? So you have the CEO who's looking at the bottom line and says, okay, well, I can minimize the amount of time that my employees aren't at their workstations by doing a wellness weekend. So we do a wellness weekend, dump a bunch of money at them and bring in some muffins and some, wraps and things like that so that they can eat at the conference. But then they throw them right back into the existing shitty life that they're living, at these cubicles and in front of these things and dealing with irate people and stress and blah, blah, blah. But here's the other thing that people don't think about. And this is, again, it's the insight that I have of being around this for so long, is imagine learning at work about nutrition and wellness and fitness and making good decisions and being able to allocate your health decisions properly so you're getting a better return on investment. So your kid, say, has allergies or has, behavioral issues, or your partner, whether male or female, is, extraordinarily heavy, obese, and suffers from sleep apnea or some other chronic issue. And the information that you bring home and the practices that you learn at work and you bring home, because we are not two different people. I might change my wardrobe, but I'm the same person in the office and outside of the office. All of a sudden, that person now isn't as tired going to work because, say, someone, because of the girth around their trachea, stopped snoring or stopped, dealing with sleep apnea and is sleeping better. Therefore, their partner's sleeping better. They're going to work more rested. So there's all kinds of different shit that people aren't thinking about when it comes to this stuff. It doesn't have to be the employee directly. It could be like, right? Imagine your kids are sick. You're at work.
Yeah.
And your kids are dealing with, my daughter has Crohn's. My daughter has Crohn's. Don't think for 2 seconds that didn't, right? That didn't affect me at work. I'm listening to clients and people coming in, but my head's not in the game because I'm thinking, Jesus, that's a big deal.
How do I help her? How do I fix her? Yeah.
How do I help her? Right?
Yeah.
Because of my background, my knowledge, I was able to do that. So I wasn't, taking long-term disability. But I've been to these big offices, guys, and it's crazy. People are concerned. I have to give, or I have to take these shots that these corporations are paying for. So you get a company of 100 people, and 3 of them are dealing with autoimmune disease. Those injections are costing the taxpayers. They could be $500 a shot, and they could be every month, or they could be twice a month, right? And this jacks up the insurance premiums. So there's insurance. There's home life. It blows my mind that no one's even thinking about this. And I've been ranting about this for 5+ years.
Right.
But how do you approach this as an employee? Because most people that would listen to this podcast, or most people, I guess, are employees. So if you're just a cog, for lack of a better term, in a business, how do you
You're a cog.
That's mature.
You're a cog. Sorry, Ben.
Co-workers or your HR, whomever, how do you bring this up as something that would be a good idea?
let them listen to a podcast like this, or you know what I mean? Champion. There's a famous saying, and I believe it's by the Dalai Lama, is if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping in a room with a mosquito. It's just bringing it up. And a lot of it is when you go to work, like when you're a member of inSIGHT, for example, and you're losing body fat, you're changing your body composition, your energy's up, you're more relaxed because you're not overwhelmed with the whole nutrition health thing anymore. You're starting to, put your pieces together. You feel pretty comfortable. People notice that at work. And, there's people there that are designated as champions, or however you want to call it, within the workplace, that have taken on extra duties without any training in order to, coordinate health services, prevention within the workspace. So those are, that's all you need to do, is just don't do this quietly. Go in and say, listen, I've got this guy that you may want to talk to. I think he'd be beneficial to all of like, this is my team. This is my work family. I think he can, or they can really help.
Yeah, I was going to say, way better idea than sleeping in a room with a mosquito is to contact Neil Burchill. Way better idea. Just saying.
I'll kill that mosquito.
Just saying.
I'll kill that mosquito.
But like I've said it before, like I've actually been in corporations that offered gym memberships, and I didn't take it because
there's a lot of that.
It wasn't pushed. I didn't give a shit. Do you mean like that wasn't my focus? Like, I
feel that the same thing can happen with like the pizza party, because from what I've seen, the people that organize those like wellness weekends or the pizza parties and stuff, they're planners that love to plan shit.
Yes.
Right.
So if you can get somebody like that involved, that's like, okay, it's not just you have a free membership, it's you have a free gym membership, and if you win this, like the stride kick competitions we're doing, if you win the competition, hey, you get blah blah blah. And
X, right. Yeah. Right, it's funny. It's funny you say that too, man. I've seen those same people do like, like weekend bike tour. It's one weekend though. Like, like they've done the same thing, but like good idea, which probably costs the company a bunch of money to do that anyway, when you could have just cut that shit out and gone right to the fucking core and been like, you need to change your diet. You need to change your diet. No offense.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry to be rude, but like,
instead of making it a weekend, why wouldn't you stretch that out? Like if it's 15 minutes every day instead of 48 hours where you have to pay everybody to do this bullshit seminar or whatever.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you just do 15 minutes of like, hey, let's just talk about what or even a half hour to be able to input to help everybody.
Yeah. You know what's the biggest killer too? Bring in donuts. Hey guys, good job on this, and this. Here's 20 donuts. Like,
I saw it.
Here's
I
20 poisons.
Rehab for firefighters. Like we'd be on the scene of a working fire, and they bring in rehab. So it'd be Chinese food or pizza. And then even when I sold cars for a little while at the dealership, we go out and we'd have to, in the wintertime, we'd have to move the cars around, and we'd have to clean them off. And anyway, it was a lot of labor. We'd come in and there'd be boxes of donuts for everybody.
Garbage.
And right, it is, but they mean well. But this is what happens: is corporate wellness it shouldn't be run by the corporate, the people that are like IBM. They're good at running IBM. They may not be very good at preventing heart disease and diabetes and stress and maybe even suicide within the workplace, right? Depression, blah, 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 like all of this stuff. They create what they do. So why not hire someone to come in and say, listen, instead of, and the track record with a lot of what's going on is proven, guys. Like, it's there. So chronic disease is never going to be treated with an acute response. A wellness weekend is not going to change everybody's behavior, make everybody play nice. But if we can get in there and start working with people and, do 15 minutes, like Ben was saying, just be there in their space on their time. And then all of a sudden people start to see each other as equal. They don't see Sally, the manager, that's a bitch. They see Sally, the manager, that might be dealing with someone at home who's dealing with a chronic illness. So what it does is it humanizes everybody. We stop looking at them in terms of their accreditation, their pay scale, right? We start looking at them as real people. And this is what inSIGHT can bring to a work environment, is we can create that community and create this community online where people can talk to each other like human beings, like people that are concerned about their health and the health of their loved
Actual
ones.
issues. Actual issues that I have. See, I don't know what you like. I know Joel is the same as me. When there's free food in front of me, there's like some sort of like brain response and like I have to eat as much as I can. Like,
can't waste it.
I can't waste it. Oh, there's 6 donuts there. Like, well, maybe I should take 2 of them. Like, there's like
right.
there's like
They're
a weird
free.
like they're free, man.
That's why there's a part of my life. Oh yeah, that's why there's a part of my life where I always worked out, but I weighed 65 pounds more than I do now. It's not because I didn't work out; it's because I took advantage of all the free food.
Well, what's the Jocko Willink? He talks about that. He says, someone brings donuts in the office, you tell them politely, "Don't poison me," and take those donuts out of here. Which is what they're doing, but there's like again, like there's like a response in your brain. Like we've had how many vendors come into our work, Joel, before and like, oh, what do you guys drink for coffee? And they bring a box of coffee and they bring a box of donuts, and it's like they want our sales and they want our services and stuff like that. But like, you're not doing me any favors because I'm looking at those like a fucking addict.
Yeah,
I mean? Like a sugar addict who just got free sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm eating 2 of them minimum. And if I come back in an hour later and there's a couple left, I'm probably having another one.
Yeah.
You did me no good. You
did me no good.
That's drug sales 101. The first one's free. But imagine instead of having contact in a really convenient way where you're not taking people away from the workstation, right? And we're empowering people with these types of decisions. Like we're talking like that. So they're able to say, listen, we appreciate the offer, but why don't you get this? And, because again, like a lot of people within the workplace, Greg, and we can attest, they're victims. They're just, you know what I mean?
100%.
They're victims.
And
they feel that they don't have a voice.
Yeah. And it's not an overnight thing. Like, because I can guarantee you, if someone brings in a veggie dip instead of the donuts, some people will be disappointed, and some people will not understand why the change. Like, where is my box of donut? Like, this was great all the other times. Like, and then
a very small amount of people, though, Joel. Like, I've been in that situation where people bring in veggie trays, and I've seen the work environments where they have the veggie trays and they have the donut trays and stuff like that. 99.9% of the time, the veggie trays are gone first.
Oh yeah,
here's the best part though. If your culture in your workplace though is centered on wellness and health, bringing in a veggie tray, I bet you that shit's gonna be just eaten up because like holy shit, you know what? We're not bringing. We're not bringing donuts. You know why? We're bringing veggies because we're here for you guys.
Right, and
people are all
of a sudden. Wow,
right?
That's great. They're actually thinking about me, and you get other coworkers supporting you, not policing you, but supporting you, because everybody's hearing it from the horse's mouth. They all have access. They're all part of the same community. So, I mean, it sounds funny, but they're all drinking the same Kool-Aid. So they support one another as opposed to someone's doing paleo and someone's doing keto and someone's doing vegan and someone's doing this. So you get these clash of clans going on between the office instead of understanding allowing all that to take place. But imagine being empathetic to the other person saying, oh, well, I understand veganism now because we're part of this community, and Neil and Ben and Joel and Greg have all explained it to me. So I can support this person in their choice to be vegan and not be a dick about it and not create a rift within the workplace and not sabotage them.
Not talk about them at the water cooler.
Absolutely. Yeah. We totally changed the water cooler talk.
Yeah.
And it creates a more symbiotic environment and more team-centered environment, because now instead of trying to sway one person to the other side, well, I'm paleo and this person is vegan, I'm trying to prove that I'm better than them and vice versa and bring them over to my side. It happens within the workplace where people just